Hello and welcome back to the Scale Model Pursuit. Today I have a slight detour from my current project I'm working on. My son's friend asked me to paint this really cool model of a PAK40 Anti-Tank cannon, and I said absolutely. So he did a nice job putting it together. There's just a few seam lines I'm going to go ahead and clean up and a couple little glue fingerprints, typical stuff. I want to go ahead and clean some of that stuff up just so the final product would be something he'd be really happy with. I'm starting out by scraping this large seam on the gun barrel with my hobby knife. That takes it down pretty quickly. And then I'll come back with some sponge sandpaper just to smooth it all out. Being real careful here with the hobby knife not to get myself or get too deep into the tires. This is a pretty common trick you'll see where you can take some extra thin glue and just kind of melt the little bits of plastic back down wherever you've done some scraping or sanding. It's always a good idea to wash the model in soapy water just to get any dust or fingerprints off of it. Then after this I go and rinse it off in the sink with fresh water. I love this black primer, this Mr. Surf 1500 black. It gives a nice dark, even tone for the base coat. And then you can build up lighter shades from there so you can get some shadowing effect in some of the deeper recesses of the model. I wanted to have some exposed metal areas on the model where maybe the ground had worn some of the paint away, but it wasn't completely covered in rust. So I'm spraying this L-clad lacquer airframe aluminum, and that'll give a nice shine. It'll get toned down a little bit when we do the weathering later. So the next step would be to put a chipping varnish over this that will allow us to remove the top coat and expose that metal color. The chipping varnish dry, it's time to go ahead and get our base color down, which is XF63 German Gray. I went straight up with this color, just thinned it out with some Mr. Color leveling thinner. With the base coat on, now I can give it some real depth by spraying some highlights with light gray. This first pass at it is very subtle, and you'll see I'll come back and do a second coat. So here I dipped a toothpick in water and I'm able to create scratches and reactivate that chipping varnish below. The water is what actually reactivates it and releases the base coat color. Once satisfied with the chipping effect, I'm going to apply this satin varnish from VMS. Being acrylic, it'll protect the base layers from the enamel washes that are coming up next. Here's that second round of highlights that I mentioned earlier. I really like how I started to get some contrast popping out now. This next technique is called sponge chipping, and I'm going to use some mint gray to create those more superficial, lighter colored scratches into the paint. Then I'll come back with a dark rust color later. That's going to do it for this video. I hope you got something out of it. Hope you enjoyed it. And we'll see you on the next one.